Good afternoon, YouTube. Coming at you with a quick update video of my 2-cycle engine oil that I did a couple months ago. I mixed, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 oils. And since I've been up and milling the past couple days, I thought I'd try and see how they fare in the MS660 Chinese clone of the Stihl 660 Magnum. The best results that I found were with the AMSOIL. AMSOIL Sabre, they recommend 100 to 1. I mixed this at 40 to 1, and it seemed like it got a good consistent power. It didn't bog out much. The one that I wasn't too impressed with was the Super Technoplate. That seemed to kind of bog down a little bit. Not as much power as I'd liked. The R50 was kind of in the middle. And this isn't such a scientific, I guess, approach to checking oils. I know oils is kind of like politics and religion. People really get bent out of shape over oils and how you mix it, what you should mix, what you shouldn't mix. I'm all for the 40 to 1 mix ratio, just because the idea of 50 to 1, my understanding, no proof, is that that's kind of more EPA driven, not so much manufacturer driven. And so if you mix 40 to 1, it'll give you a good consistent burn. It gets down and it lubricates your crank bearings, because you need it down there. You need it both in your piston and your cylinder, but also down at the bottom. The MS660 is just running strong. I don't have anything but good to say about it. One issue that I did have with it was that my oiler went bad. Just stopped oiling. The little wire that spins around and helps it oil while you rev it up, that broke off, and I took it apart and replaced the oiler, and it's good to go. And it feels like the worm gear in the oiler somehow gummed up. For a while I was using a mixture of vegetable oil and bar oil, and the bar oil, I think, for some reason caused the vegetable oil to kind of goober up. I mean, there were boogers and slime in there. That might have gotten in my worm gear and just caused too much pressure on it. The saw is running strong. I use this over my 660 big bore and my 066 Red Eye, which is just all original, and because I want to see what it can do. To truly prove a machine, you need to max it out to the max of its abilities. And in my view, in my understanding, milling really puts a lot of stress on chainsaws. And so why not take a saw that everyone talks bad about, that everyone says, oh, made in China, it's junk, it won't go anywhere, it's going to break on you. Well, guess what? It's still going strong, and I have, I don't know, maybe 10 hours on it. Again, I'm not going to be milling the big logs up in the West Coast, but I mean, not milling, but chopping them down and like relying on this. If this breaks down, I'll just pull out another saw that I have, my 066 or my 660 big bore. But so far I like it, and a lot of people have some good results with them. Putting them together as kits or buying them straight from China. I'll give you a quick, it's warm, it's kind of cooled down, but the hot starts were the first time every time. It started right up. I'll give you a quick look at that. So I didn't prime it or anything, it's ready to go. Really just starts up every time. Put it on choke in the morning, or when you're first going to use it, and it fires up right away. Kind of surprised at how well this air filter works. It's from China. It's flocked air filter. I don't know if it's a paper or like a paper fabric combination, but if you look inside, you can see it's clean. I mean, this sawdust is just about as fine as you can get when you're cutting these hardwoods, and it traps it all in there. I just kind of take it and knock out the dust after every pass and put it on, and it works fine. Nothing gets on the inside, and works like it should. Panther Pros. 42-inch mill has been good. There's kind of a learning curve on how to bolt everything together. Like I said in my past milling videos, the setup is just what takes forever. To set up the saw, set up the mill, set up the log. But once you get that down, you're cutting, and I cut with the ladder each time. I re-bolt down the ladder, cut again, and you're going really fast. So let me show you a couple close-ups of the logs that I milled, and go from there. I was told that this is silky oak. I thought it was, I heard someone say curly oak. I think it goes by a bunch of different names. I'll look it up what it says exactly, but really has some nice character to it, some really nice color. This crotch section is kind of what took me a while to get around, and if you'll notice, there's kind of these little gouges here. And what happens is when you are cutting with the bar, you want to cut as even as you can. There's the tendency to kind of cut back and forth because you think you can get more cuts, but as you cut back and forth like that, you'll get these kind of these gouges in there, just kind of the unevenness. And that was just because I was coming down here. I had to get around this, I guess you call it a crotch figure, little bump where there was a branch that went out, but it was cut. So once I got past that and I came down to here, then you can kind of get a good consistent cut all the way down. And even though you see these lines here, they're not as deep. And you could probably almost take this off with a hand plane or even a sander. These ones, if the whole saw, if the whole bar, the whole slab was like this, it would be hard to get past that. But still, they sell good. 2.5 inches thick, 21 inches at the wide part, and 14 inches at the narrow part. So there's a couple bookend pieces that would make it a nice coffee table, 41 inches long, a little close to 3.5 inches, 3.5 feet long. And so I think they're ready to go. I'll have to check the moisture with my cheapo Amazon moisture meter. But there's my thought it would be a quick review, but turned into a kind of a little extended review of my chainsaw, my oils, and the logs that I milled up. So really for less than $500 you can get that saw, that mill, and you could be milling boards like that the next day that you get it. You might want to break it in a little bit, but do some research, look around, see what you see, and tell me what you think. Like and subscribe, share my video, tag me in some of your videos. Let me know what you're doing this summer, this winter. Well, it's winter for us, and it feels like summer in some other places, but sure do love this Arizona weather. And have a wonderful afternoon. Adios.